Good morning. Good morning, 8:10 a.m. It is July 8th today. Welcome to my channel. Whoever's new, welcome. Let's see. What we got going on here in this market is trend continuation after the breakout of balance. This is not surprising, okay? We are a little overextended, a little frothy, okay? So if we happen to gap up today, okay, right now we're not in futures. You don't go by the close, you go by the highs and the lows. Just to give you that little tip. I will probably be looking very carefully at a short. Okay, we're going to get some type of pullback. Now, July is typically seasonally bullish, and earnings season has started. And I heard earnings has lowered their expectations. So, of course, when you lower them, people can beat them. So it's a slippery slope there, a slippery slope. Now the day, it might be a day trade short, or it might be a swing trade short. I'm not really sure yet. It depends. Now I have a lot of analysis I did over the weekend, and I'll get into that a little bit today. You might get some bonus with that. Okay, you might get some bonus with that. To note, all right, we still have a market that's only has an hour breadth that's been moving this market. Okay, so that's not really healthy, but that's how the market works. It's market cap weighted. So anyway, let's get into this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. Just helps me or guides me for structure, right? That's my edge. Right, when I first started trading, they said you need to get an edge, and of course I was like, how the hell do I do that? I don't know what to look at. How do I know to look what to look at? Well, market profile and volume profile get structure data in a way that I can just look at it and see it. Right? They give you stuff that a candlestick can't. So hey, I like that. Right? I like that. So that's my system. Right? So you can see. I know whoever follows me on YouTube. Unfortunately, you don't get notifications of shorts. So I've been doing shorts of trades I've been doing. All right. And the only thing I come up is I only got a minute. And there's a lot of information, right? So every time I put a trade on with the criteria that I do, there's a lot of layers behind each piece of criteria, like why that works, right? I don't have time to explain that. But if you join my channel, and every morning I could answer questions if somebody has them about, wait a minute, you said the gamma flip point. Wait a minute, you said gamma exposure levels, call walls, most traded price, single prints, market profile, volume profile. Like, why? Like, I don't understand that, right? And I can explain that in more detail, which I kind of do every day, right? So if you do join me, which I do every day at 8:10 a.m. Eastern, all right, and I give you a general thing here. You come here, you get a one-stop shop. I know I'm dating myself, but it's kind of Cliff Notes for market. All right, it sums it up. I can sum it up for you. I look at all the news. I'll tell you who's leading, who's lagging, why they're moving, why they're not moving. Right? We'll look at daily charts, and then at around 8:30 a.m., I'll look at scenarios, trade scenarios. We'll go over the long and short scenarios in the Nasdaq and the ES futures. All right. Now, I look at futures. I look at the SPY. All right. I look at the QQQ. Depending on what I want to do, I might trade the futures. I might trade the SPY. It doesn't matter. Whatever I do, ES and SPY. I mean, it's the same trade. So people are confused by that. All right. So without further ado, why don't we get right into the futures watch list? Okay. Why don't we look at that right now? Boom. Okay. Now, Bitcoin has really pulled back. All right. But people are maybe seeing this as about an opportunity. Don't know. Okay. And then we got the VIX is up 1.28%. Bitcoin's up 1%. Russell's up 0.41, the Dow's up 0.09, Nasdaq's up 0.06, ES is up 0.04, basically flat. Dollar's flat. 10-year yield doesn't report to 820 on TOS. 30-year bonds are being sold. That's interesting. That should make yields go higher. Okay, gold is down 0.61. Crude has been on a rocket ship. All right, hit kind of a high volume node, composite high volume node. All right, in crude. Now it's starting to pull back. Actually broke a key trend, uptrend line. So I'm watching crude. Okay, I'm watching crude. All right, silver's down 1%. All right, that's what's going on with futures. All right, that's the futures watch list. But now we go into the Mag 7 Plus. Let's see how that's looking. Well, AMD, you faked out enough people and you're finally moving higher. Right? Went down to like 157, I believe, at one point. You faked it out. You made a mess, and now you're moving. Right? Nvidia's up. All right, so we're up 1.37% in AMD. Nvidia's up 0.79. Shocker. Coinbase, following Bitcoin's up 0.72. Boeing, it's weird. Boeing's up, and they're like pleading guilty in some lawsuit. Apple's up 0.57. Broadcom. Now remember, Broadcom is doing a split. I believe a 10-to-1. All right, so that's why I added them to my list. Let's see here. That's July 15th. They do that split, a 10-to-1 split. So right now that stock would be around 170 bucks a share. That finally is going to be a tradable stock. All right. What else we got here? We got who's lagging. That's what we want to talk about. Well, JP Morgan just made like a high. They're kind of pulling back, right? They have earnings this week. All right. That's another thing kicking off this week is earnings. Google down 0.66. Tesla has a big lawsuit with shareholders talking about something like a $7 million or billion. We'll get into it later. Lawsuit for attorney fees for the pay package of 56 billion. I want to say 56 billion. Like I said, I'll get all the details in a second with Elon Musk. So this just made a rocket move. All right, it made a rocket, parabolic, huge move. A lot of hedge funds were caught short. All right, so made a rocket move with those deliveries, beating expectations. Okay, not surprised that this takes a rest. All right, usually what happens, you run so much, what do? You got to rest. Take a breather. Right, take a breather. It might consolidate this week. All right, or a minor little pullback. Right, because once this pulls back, everyone who's holding it a little bit now might like take some profit. Right. That's just how the market works. All right, top sectors. Now, one thing I want to note. I did add and take away certain things this week. All right, I added GE, General Electric, to my top list here. That's the top holding in industrials. That is number one. So I put that in. I like how it moves. That is now into that, our main list that we look at. Okay, so you notice GE is there. I took away BABA. I'm sick of looking at BABA. All right, took away BABA. So the next list, I also added Uber. Uber, believe it or not, is the second top holding, or the third, but right under CAT, I believe, in the industrials. Believe it or not. So Uber is a heavyweight in industrials. All right, so added that there. All right, now let's look at who's leading. Shocker. It's the new addition, Uber, up 0.25. Eli Lilly is just on a tear, up 0.21. Qualcomm, I mean, not much leader there, right? Now, CAT, I believe, has earnings. Why did I think CAT had earnings? Hold on a second here. Earnings on 7:30. That was wrong where I looked at before. Okay, because I'm very interested in CAT. All right, McDonald's. All right, and nothing really to say here. Okay, let's see here. Healthcare reports earnings next week. It's the laggards here. Disney, Chevron. Now I just saw Exxon must have reported some poor guidance. They're down 1.26%. Okay, that's really there. Now we look at my swing trade list here. See who's leading there. Whoa, whoa, Intel, the semi that is beaten down. Now, why is that moving? Let's see here. Let's see. AMD and Intel shares have lagged this year. Why a rebound could be in store. Okay. And then you got Taiwan Semiconductors up 3.27%. Gilead, Palantir, Paramount Global, Domino's Pizza, Target. All these are moving, okay? Enphase, Solar here, right? MicroStrategy, that's Bitcoin. Supermicro Computers. Charles Schwab got an upgrade. Mara, obviously Bitcoin related. Dave and Buster's, 1.19. There's the Bitcoin ETF up 1.15%, followed by Riot for solar. That's obviously solar. All right, Donald Trump 1.82. Now let's look at the laggards here. ServiceNow. ServiceNow is down 3.18. Did they report earnings? Maybe that's why they're down. No. Let's see. In-depth examination of 20. I think they got a downgrade, really. So it's really what it's come down to. But all right, Celsius continues to get beat down, 2.3. Lucid down 2.05%. Gold miners, junior miners down 0.67. Tilray down 0.58. Gilead, and that's not Gilead, it's gold. Let's see here. That's really it. That's really all I want to talk about there. Let's move on to sectors. Here we go. Shocking of all shockers, semiconductors leading the pack, almost up 1%. Unbelievable. So that's a risk on, right? You see semis leading the pack, that's risk on. All right, so then we got technology. Geez, technology is now almost 33% market cap weight in the S&P 500. It's just growing and growing and growing. Okay, utilities, well, there's only a 0.03. Now, who's lagging here? Well, because Tesla is almost 1% down, you got XOY down a little bit. Okay, and then you got energy down 0.52 because of Exxon and Chevron down. Okay, that's how that's looking. All right, now let's get into some economic calendar, earnings. All right, some news. Let's get into it. Let's do it. All right, so today we don't have nothing. But let's look at the week. All right, we got Fed speak, specifically Fed Powell. So tomorrow you got Fed Bar, Fed Powell, Fed Bowman. Okay, Wednesday Fed Powell again. Okay, then you got 10-year note auction on 1 p.m. Fed Bowman, Fed Goolsby, right? Fed Cooks after the market closes. Now Thursday, here we go. CPI. We got CPI that moves the markets. That's on Thursday. And jobless claims. And Fed Bostic. And the 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. That's a big day is Thursday. Friday you got PPI and Michigan Consumer Sentiment. So you got a lot of data this week. Now this morning the volume is not the best. All right, not the best. It's about 75 to 80% of normal volume. All right, not the best. Expect it after 4th of July, the weekend. We're starting that summer stuff, so that's what's going on there. Now, as far as upgrades and downgrades, let's look at those together. All right, so let's look at upgrades together. We got Ally Bank. We have, I'm going to mention stocks that I really moved the market. Domino's Pizza. That's why that's moving. There's always reason, folks. What else we got? Gilead. Makes sense. Charles Schwab. There you go. That's why they're moving, right? Let's look at downgrades. We got JP Morgan actually got a downgrade. Interesting. Outperform to peer perform. Okay. Initiations. Let's look at those. Let's see. Cloudflare. Sector perform. Nothing really crazy there. Price target changes. This is where you get some juicy stuff here. Ally. Target raised. Right? $48. There's a lot of them here today. American Express target raised. So some financials. So now we got some financials reporting on Friday. So interesting. Discovery Financial upgraded. See what I mean? Domino's Pizza. Let's see here. It's not just giving me target raises. It's why is it doing that? That's annoying. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. All right, target raises. Let's do this again. Nvidia got a target raise to 150. Surprise, surprise. Spirit Aerosystems got a target raise. And that's about it. Target lowered. All right, let's look at those. Sorry about that, guys. I just got a little messed up here. Target lowered. Not really anything that I would really talk about there. And let's look at some news here. All right, so Boeing to plead guilty to fraud. Unbelievable. And the stock's up. Paramount Skydance merger deal ends. Skydance Media and Paramount Global agreed to merge. All right, that's why that's moving. Let's see here. Here's the Tesla investors urge judge to reject record $7 billion legal fee. $7 billion, right? All right. That's really all I wanted to talk about there. There's nothing really there. All right. And let's look at here. The juice here. Let's see. All right. Remember we talked about what's coming out. Boeing plead guilty. France now swings to the left. Got to watch what's going on in Macron in France. Crude, like I said, it's pretty much overbought, very frothy. All right. So looking at that, it broke a key trend line. All right. Let's move on. We're gonna move on. Move on to daily charts. Not much to see there, but we've got to talk about it anyway, right? All right, let's go to those daily charts. All right, let's do it. All right, so there's a little channel here that we're hitting our head on here in the SPY, right here. We made an all-time high, 555.05. All right, so you can see this range, broke it, and we followed through. We got some trend continuation there. Okay, now where's the market now? 555 even. So the market's pretty much flat right now. Flat meaning it's unchanged from the close. Okay, now you can see we broke out, but this is not a very broad move, folks. The narrow breadth. Let's just really quickly go to RSP, which is the equal weighted S&P, and just see what that looks like. Does that look good to you? That's if the market was not market cap weighted and everything was equal. Does that look good? No, it doesn't. Now, it doesn't matter because the market moves with the market cap weights. That doesn't matter, but it's not a healthy move up. It's not like everything's getting bought up. It's not. All right, so we can go back to SPY. Just wanted to put that in there, okay? Now, so it's pretty much flat. Let's look at futures, just so we can get a better view of what I'm talking about here. Right here. Right here. Look at this. Bought. Now, one or two things are going to happen today. Could we go higher? Sure. One thing is going to happen. We're going to pull back, or we're going to move sideways. Now, if you're new to markets only do two things. They balance and they trend. That's all they ever do. That's it. So I think we're going to be due for some balance. Okay, so we'll see. All right, let's look at the Qs. Now the Qs had a channel it broke out of right here. Boop. It kind of ripped off of it, right? So broke this level 47 and has not looked back. Okay, where are we at now? 496.60, right at the highs. Okay, so the market's still pushing up here. Let's look at futures. There we go. That's what we're doing right now, right there, right at the highs of the NASDAQ. Frothy, frothy, frothy. Okay? Frothy. So, now, let's look at what I don't normally do. Let's look at the Dow. Okay? Let's look at that Dow. Look at the Dow. Now, the Dow, just so everybody understands, which I didn't always understand this, the Dow's only 30 stocks. It's only 30. The largest holding is United Healthcare and Goldman Sachs. Okay? Look at this chart of the Dow. This is the daily chart. Look. That's a chop city. It's not super strong. Here's all-time highs, 401. We're down here. This is not like, oh my God, this is so bullish. Right? This is why I'm telling you the breadth is not strong. It's narrow. Okay? Now, that's 30 stocks. Right? NASDAQ, the QQQ is 100 stocks, and the S&P is 500 stocks. Okay? Now we got IWM, which is 2,000 small cap stocks. Look at that. Look at that garbage chart. Garbage. Look at these moving averages. 50, the 100, the 9, the 90 MA, the 20 simple moving average, all clustered together. You got this wedge. You're at the most traded price of the year in the Russell. You're going to break out. I don't know which way, and the Russell's very sensitive to rates. 10-year yield has reported, and we'll get into that. It is up 0.56%. Okay, that puts heavy weight on small companies. Okay, so now this is a candidate. If you don't understand it, I put it down in my notes for a straddle. It's got low volatility, and you win whatever way it breaks out, because this is coiling. It's bound to make some type of move. I might put a little one out there. Now, they're not cheap, straddles. Okay? It's on my roadmap. I'm not saying to do it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying it's on my radar for a straddle. It's really, really coiling. Okay? Really, really coiling. And I'll show you later in the futures about that. Okay? So I just wanted to show you that the Dow and IWM don't look like the NASDAQ and the SPY. Right? That doesn't look the same. Now, move over to that triple-headed monster. Okay? Boom. There's our yields. All right? Now, this is the smart money. Bond market smart money. Okay? Now, right now, we're trending down. You got a rise in yields here. We pulled back. Now, these yields are going to wait for Powell testimony and CPI. All right? Right now, it's like you're just in this congestion area. But remember, smart money, just so you don't know, yields rise, puts more weight on equities. Okay. Now, that is one part of the triple head monster. Now, let's look at another part. That would be the dollar. Now, the dollar was pushing up, right? Right up, now pulling back. Now, that the rates have pulled back, and the dollar has pulled back, has made our market move higher. A lower dollar is good for commodities, is good for equities. So is lower yields. Okay, so this is why we're helping the market move higher. Okay, now what drives the dollar? There's a basket of currencies that go in against the dollar, right? And the number one is the euro. So I'm gonna not even throw it. I know you're gonna see a move in the euro. So this is the euro. Look at that move. Whoop. It's 57% of the basket of what goes against the dollar that makes up that Dixie. 57% is the euro. Second to that is the yen. So let's look at the yen. Should be moving up as well. Not as much. Well, let's make sure here. Yeah, not as much, because really the euro drives it, right? All right. Now, third part of that triple headed is that VIX. And guess what, folks? We don't have fear. Look at this. This is all no fear, right? Now, VIX is 30 days out of fear. 30 days out. You hedging? VIX should move 30 days out. Someone wants to hedge. Okay, now, I do have a theory what's going to happen. Now, we're pretty frothy in the markets. Okay, but they can be stay irrational, then you can stay solvent. Okay, it's very important to know that. So, what I believe, July is usually bullish. We have earnings, right? What I believe is we have an election coming up. I've been saying this. Election puts indecision in the market. Futures always discount about 6 months ahead. All right, they price in stuff. So right now they can't price in who's going to win the election. They don't know. So it's going to be indecision, right? People might want to de-risk before the election and then have the Santa Claus rally. Does this have to happen? No. I think it makes sense though because we're kind of frothy. So look for August, September, who are usually seasonally weaker. Maybe something happens there. Maybe you get the rise in the VIX with the election coming up, right? I think it makes sense, but the markets don't have to make sense. Okay, markets don't have to make sense. All right, let's go to structure. Let's go to structure. That's not structure, right? Let's go right there. Boom. We're going to the market profile. We're going to the volume profile. Like I said, I know not everybody looks at this and goes, what the heck is this? But trust me. Trust me. You stick with me, you'll love it just as much as I do. Okay. All right. Now, of course, I don't got my marker up. All right. Let's look together. First thing we do, we go to the composite volume profile of the last rolling week. So here it is. Very ugly looking profile, to be honest with you. We got the bottom. We got value area all up here. Value means 70% of the trade has happened up there. Okay, now, in the 24-hour, okay, the market has moved the most traded price of the week up to 56.20. That is bullish. Okay. The RTH session is still down here at 55.35. If you look at my video, my short I made, I said 55.30, which it was at one point when I did that trade. But it moved up to 55.35. Now, when the market moves value higher, that's bullish. Okay, that's bullish. Where's price now? Right here. Right at the highs of Friday. Right there, 56.25. Okay. Look what we did. Right? Boom. Moved up. Guess what the market's telling us? This is the overnight session right here. You know what that's telling us? Oh, we accept these higher prices. We like these higher prices. So I could tell you it's frothy, but the market's telling you we accept these higher prices, and especially moving the most traded price up here. Okay. Most likely this will move up in the real-time trading. It hasn't happened yet because it hasn't real-time trading hours haven't opened yet, obviously. So what do we gather from this? It's just bullish. Momentum's for the bulls. All right, momentum is for the bulls. Okay. Now we're going to look at what I generally look at, right? We got to look at structure. All right. Now we're at the highs. Up. We just pushed up, so we are technically gapped up right now. It's pushing up. Let it do what it does. Like I said, I like when the market moves up and up and up, and you gap up. What usually happens is a swift, nice pullback. A swifty, nice pullback. All right. Doesn't mean it has to. All right. Let's look at this. All right. We go Friday's highs right here. Friday's lows. Overnight low is poor. Means it's got a double bottom. And we got overnight high. All right. So we have a weak high. The confluence high. Right there. All right. 56.26 in futures. Okay. So that could be a breakout point. Could be a bull trap. Could, a bunch of things here. Okay. I don't look at it like, oh my God, it's a breakout. Nope. I look at it could be a bull trap where you could do a boop and go back. Okay. So what's our inventory look like? Here we go. We opened here. This is our short activity to our long activity. Okay, I like that. That's about I would say 85% net long. I like it. Okay. Now, why do I like it? Well, let's look down here. Well, if you got long here, you're getting paid. You got long here, you're getting paid. You got long here, you're getting paid. You get long here, anywhere here, you're getting paid. You got long here, you're getting paid. All that getting paid, if you're sitting there going, I'm long from here. If you get any kind of weakness today, what do you think people are going to do? Take some profit. Doesn't mean bear market. It means that's how the market works, right? Why are you going to hold and hold and hold? All right, this is emotional game here. Okay, so now what would we look at? There's some key levels here. All right, we got our week high, 56.26, our confluence high. We have the midpoint of the 50% retracement, the fib, or they call it the mid in futures, 56.05. And where does that line up with? A nice little demand zone. Okay, bulls need to defend this. That's it. Bulls need to defend it, folks. Bulls need to defend this area right here. Right there. They got to defend it. All right? Right there. Now, there's no supply. Really not much supply here. All right? Because we're at all-time highs. There's nothing above us. That makes it a little difficult. All right? So you have to wait. Okay? You have to wait. So sellers need to step in somewhere. Okay? They need to step in somewhere. Another thing I want to note here, I want to keep everybody focused, but this is the most traded price of Friday. That is very bullish. When you move the most traded price up to the top of the session, very, very bullish. So they also need to defend that. So I just want to give you a thing here, okay? That's why I use volume profile, market profile. So volume profile is telling me, hey, everybody, the most trades happened at 56.20. What do you think they are, long or short? Most likely long. Okay, so this is a point where, okay, if we go up like this and go through that, okay, come through that overnight low, you could definitely get some pullback here. And I already showed you how much longs are getting paid. All right, like I said, I'm really looking at this today, but I'm very cautious at all-time highs. It's not like I'm going to go all in, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we got our levels to talk about. Now we can get into scenarios. Now, just if you're new, I want to explain something that's just very easy to understand. Okay, every session here in the blacks is real-time trading hours. That would what you would see on the SPY chart. So if I break this out, all the market profile is 30-minute bars. That's all it is. Each one of these bars is 30 minutes. So just look at it, 30-minute bars. It's all it is. It opened here, we push, blah, 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 blah. That's all it is. That's all this market profile is 30-minute bars. But when you collapse it, it makes it a profile. That's all. Okay, so in every highlighted gray kind of section is the overnights. Okay, this is the overnight session. So you can see every gray highlight's an overnight session. Every black is a real-time trading session. So this is just a daily candle like you would see in SPY. That's it. It's all it is. But it's showing you where time, price spent. All right, that's it. That's all it is. Okay? So let's get into it. Now, let's talk about one thing here. This profile has a bullish imbalance to it. You see this flat top here? This needs to be corrected. It needs to get excess. So this week high here, we're probably going to get some type of excess here. Now, when that excess gets put in, I want to see that. That means buyers are running out of participants and you can snap back. Okay? So, with that being said, let's get into this. All right? We are going to go for the bull scenario. Now, demand zones, 50% retracement right here. You got to defend that, bulls. You got to defend it. Okay, so if I'm a bull, I don't do gap and goes. All right, we're right at the highs, but let's say this happens. The only thing I'd like to see is you push up, okay, you pull back. Now, you could defend the most traded price of Friday and you could go higher. I'm not sure if I like that as much, but it's real. Now, if you push through that, you're going to get some selling into this demand zone. Now, you got the 50% Fibonacci, the midpoint, Friday session. Now, this is where you really have to pay attention. It could do one of these, higher low, higher low. Now, if you catch some strength here, you can go up. Now, expanding the breadth earlier, it's narrow. What if the other sectors start getting bought and tech starts to come back? Now, I made some notes here, and I just want to tell you guys these notes. Netflix almost made an all-time high. Meta made an all-time high. Apple made an all-time high. Google made an all-time high. Microsoft made an all-time high. Everybody's making all-time highs. Okay? So, and they're quite extended. So, very frothy market. But what if they pull back, take profits, and then what happens if those sectors that are weaker start getting bought? It could make us melt up a little bit. So I'm just giving you that, all right? Giving you that. This is all I'm looking at for the bull, all right? Now for the bear, let's talk about it. What I'm looking at, I just said everybody's net long, right? Everybody's net long. What I'd like to see is a push up. Let's what I want to see here. Here's that week high. All right, make new all-time highs. Great. Let's say it comes through the open like this. Now you're going to first test this most traded price. Okay. What I would like to see, now you could try a short here. I'm not saying you'd be wrong. Okay. But what I would like to see is drive past this, clear out these demand zones, and then try to hold here and accept prices lower. That might make us go down and test this demand zone in Friday's lows. Now this low, let's call it 55.85, is a big support level. Bulls, you got to defend that. If you don't, and we break, hold, you're going to go down here, at least to 55.60. And this would all be healthy. Earnings could still boom, and you rip from here. That's all I'm looking at today. Okay, that's all I'm looking at. And if the market turns weak, because you have to look at the internals after the market opens. If we're real weak, like tech's weak, oh yeah, this definitely is due for a correction. Nobody knows when it's coming though. It's the timing of it. Okay, so that's your ES. Now let's look at the NASDAQ. Let's look at that NASDAQ, huh? All right. I'm getting a little longer winded today because I have some bonus stuff to talk about here. Usually I'm already done. But if you're new, you're getting some bonus info. All right, let's push this up here so we can talk about this. All right, I'm going to go over this quicker. Here's your volume profile. You got some little node here. Then you got value area all the way up to here, and you got that bullish imbalance as well. You have a weak high in the NASDAQ as well. So I'm expecting that to get excess. Okay, that's what volume profile. I look at that and go, oh, that's a bullish imbalance. We probably are going to correct this, make some excess. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ as well. We have a very similar setup in the NASDAQ. Weak high around 206.37 right there. That's a weak high. Like I said, that could be a bull trap. That could be a breakout level. Don't know what it's going to be. Okay, most traded price of the week also was at the top of the session. That's bullish. Okay, here's your overnight lows. Here's your Friday's lows. All right. Here's your 205.34 is the 50% retracement. Okay. Now, I don't like the NASDAQ as much because of all those things I mentioned. All those all-time highs. I'm not saying that can't keep going. It can. It's we do for a little bit of a pullback or a correction. So this is really what I'm looking at here in the Nasdaq. All right. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. Okay. Let's go for the bullish case, and we'll go for the Nasdaq scenarios here. Hope everybody's, or whoever's watching, is getting something out of this. Okay. All right. Let's look at this now. In the Nasdaq, it's a little different. You got demand here right with the overnight low, and you also got the 24-hour 206 right here is now the most traded price. So that's bullish, okay? But you need to defend the overnight low, Nasdaq. You don't have much below that, okay? Here's your week high around 206.37. All right, so this is what I would suspect happens. You push up, make the excess in the profile, pull back, and if you go through that most traded price, you're going to get some selling, and you're going to test this overnight low. Okay, now it could do one of these and fake everybody out. You got demand there too, and then higher low, and then possibly maybe melt up. I don't think we go rocket. All right, that's kind of really what I'm looking for. Here's the ultimate defense here at 205.34, the 50% Fibonacci. I'm not sure if I'm too crazy about if it comes down here to be like, yeah, I'm buying this, just because we're so frothy. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for the longs. Now, shorts. The bears. We'll talk the bears now. Okay, we got that week low. Well, that's not a week low, but it's the overnight low with demand. We got our week high here, the confluence high right here. That's all what it's about, this overnight session. Okay, so I need to see a push up, make an new all-time high, make some lower highs, come through just like the ES, the most traded price of Friday. That is going to cause some selling, and you're going to test this demand and the most traded price of the week. It's probably going to move up here. I want to see this demand taken out, boom, and hold and hold. You might even get a 50% pullback. Hit this level and push back up into here. And if you hold under this level and you get weakness, we could fall all the way down to Friday's lows. If we break Friday's lows, we are definitely going to test around 203.50 right here. Okay? Definitely going to test around 203.50. Now, the market has to be weak though when we open. It can't just be like, oh man, look at all these strong sectors. But remember, Nasdaq is only 100 and mostly tech. So Nasdaq can just fall. And usually what happens, if the other sectors are kind of pushing SPY or ES up, eventually what happens, the Nasdaq will bring the rest of the market down. Okay? That's what I'm seeing, folks. That is what I'm seeing. All right? Now, let's talk. And I got a little winded here, long-winded here. I apologize. I hope everybody's appreciating the little bonus coverage. All right, so what I noticed, and we already talked about it, we got SPY. All right, let's look at real quickly. I'm going to go over this really quickly so you get visual, not just me talking. All right, let's look at it together. SPY, frothy, broke out, right? 3 days of buying. Hit this wedge, right? The upper trend line here, this channel. Okay, I'm not saying that's got to stop it. I'm just saying that's what I'm looking at. So we know we got SPY. Qs, same look. Broke that channel, but we're just a lot of buying, right? Now, I showed you the Dow and the IWM are doing nothing. All right, they're doing nothing. And in the sectors, all got XLCs at all-time highs, XLKs at all-time highs. Okay. XLY broke out. So let's just show you, because I'll show you XLY. Look at XLY. Look at that move from here. Whoop. That's Amazon and Tesla and Home Depot. Okay, they hit a key resistance level of 189. This is why I'm saying, like, how much farther are we going to go? We can, but we'll pull them back in Tesla today. Okay, Now, what else? Now, I liked XLI, which is industrials, and I like CAT. Now, look at XLI. Push back, pull in a range, right? But just hit this key level here around 119, 120, and push. Got some buying excess here. I really want to watch CAT and XLI. This, like I said, the market breadth is narrow. XLI could get a push here. Now remember, Uber's up today, and surprisingly, I didn't know that they were like the number 2 holding in XLI. Okay, but I like CAT. I like CAT. All right. So what else here? XLV has, this is healthcare. XLV's pulled back to a trend line. Let's get the trend lines up here. Right there. It's in an uptrend and hit the uptrend line. Okay. So I'm liking that. You got United Healthcare, you got Johnson & Johnson, Merck, Pfizer, whatever. Those are some things I'm looking at. Okay. And XLF financials is in range. See that crap? It looks like the Dow. Now this is pushing up against this 41. We're in a little bit of a baby range here of from 40 to 41, say 42. If we break out of that, right, what's going to happen, right? The breadth won't be so narrow. Okay. And like I said, we got our, there's Tesla, parabolic. You think this is not going to take a break? Okay. AMD broke out. Coinbase, I'm interested in. Okay. Nvidia, it's kind of moving sideways. Meta shot up like a rocket. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this move in Meta on Friday. All-time highs. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. See, Broadcom, that's splitting. Snow has gotten beaten down, moving up. All right. There's GE. This is industrials. That's just really consolidating here. Okay? Got my eye on that. Microsoft shot up to all-time. Look at Microsoft. They're going to take a break. Netflix all-time highs is like 700 point something. Almost went there. Okay. Amazon, boom, all-time highs. JP Morgan, all-time highs. Frothy, guys. Google. Look at Google. Boom. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. All right. This is what I'm talking about. All right. So that's going to be it for me. I know it was long-winded today. I hope everybody, if you have a comment or question, please let me know. Okay? Please let me know. And subscribe. Set an alert if you enjoy my content. Give me a thumbs up or a like also. That would help me out. Okay? And you can always follow me. I got to update this on X at Gonzo719. Also Instagram. Now I'm doing Facebook uploads. Now I'm doing TikTok uploads. Twitter, X, I just gave you that. TikTok, YouTube, obviously. All right. So we have our plans. Right now, this is a little tricky. Mondays, I'm not a big fan of. I like this thing. I like to see things play out. All right. I like to see things play out. So everybody stay patient. And if you're new today, welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. All right. Have a great day trading.